hard to pick one issue that you think is the most important. For me, I think it's important to, I think actually it's really my experience that is the most important, but that's not really a platform issue. Something that I think is the most important really is the student evaluations of teaching. This has been like an ongoing thing for years and years and years. I think we can finally find some resolution to it insofar as the fact taking back control of those evaluations. There were hopes that would come out in the collective agreement and it would be a little better, but I'm not the most optimistic about that happening, seeing as how they don't seem to be getting anywhere with negotiations. And it's usually the student issues that are dropped first, and it's the financial ones. I think there was an email out today that a lot of it is around financial issues, so I think that's something that we can do to positively affect the learning experience for students at Manoff.
So just for this question,
I guess first I'll address what my opponent said. I think that it's important to recognize all the work that the SAC has done in recent years with regard to student evaluations and teaching. We've made actually quite substantive advancements in how these evaluations are done, in that they are submitted to department heads and there is accountability for professors there. I also think that perhaps what my opponent is not thinking about is that going behind the back of faculty and doing these ourselves is certainly going to burn a lot of bridges. We depend on our relationship with faculty with regard to Senate committees, and we rely on that relationship as an organization and as representatives of students. Having said that, the most important thing that I think must be tackled is working toward that financial sustainability and setting up structures that not only will let us seek it next year, but that will let future years of council continue to seek financial sustainability.
The more responsible budget. Ultimately, my platform comes down to a better involvement of the students in making decisions, which means increased referendum and much more information given on referendums. The last referendum done on the whole yearbook thing, which I mentioned earlier, asked the question, do you want to continue getting your yearbook for free? When it should have asked the question, do you want to be charged $25 for the yearbook again? It's things like these. We'll have another referendum in April on the dental plan, and I really, really hope that it's well represented by both sides in the information given before students have to make these kinds of decisions. That will affect not only them, but future generations of students. Thank you.
I still think that's an important issue that we need to finally find some resolution to. It has been something that we have done a lot of work on in the past years, and it's still not there, and it's not going to get there. We need to be looking for new ways to get to that point. Perhaps this coming forward with a proposal for the SAC to run them and publish them as we used to may push faculty and Senate towards that end goal of having these transparent evaluations run by themselves. But you need to keep trying at these sorts of things and coming up with new and creative ways to meet the end goal, and that's what I think we need to be doing, is working towards new ideas to meet that end goal that we've had for years and years now.
Alex, you have the option of another.
No.
As far as my platform goes, it's kind of an eeny-meeny-miny mo between the two big points, which are the RAs and the security walk-home program thing, because I feel like both of them are quite big things that we need to have implemented on campus. So I don't know. And I guess the biggest thing really for me is the advocacy part of things. So like being able to take issues of the students and bring them forward to administration, like that's sort of the most important thing to me at this point. So.
The important issue for me is what I talked about in my opening speech: community and student involvement in the town, and using the SAC resources to help students get back to this place that we call home. We've had a lot of students get involved in the towns and the farmers market, like I mentioned, with camps. Also, the SAC is playing a significant role in the Winter Carnival this year, which is a new thing. That's awesome. The town invited us to come and play a part in that, and as well other initiatives directed specifically to students, like the Atlantic Co-op and their cab rate. So next year I'll be pushing for student involvement on town committees. something that the mayor is interested in, and I've spoken to her already about, and it looks like it's coming down the pipe, and next year I would love to be around to continue pushing for more official student involvement in the town government.
I just wanted to say, any political position and the policies that they must deal with are important. Every single one of them is as important as another. For me personally, I'm most passionate about the MDSA. The MDSA has been kind of dwindling in size over the last few years, and it's a little bit of a worrisome trend. And I've talked to a few members of the MDSA. And it's something I'd like to see stop, because as I mentioned in my speech, the MDSA is a crucial organization. So lots of changes, because lots of changes are going on in our provincial government here. We just had a recent election, and there's a lot of financial stress that the provincial government has to deal with. I'm from New Brunswick, so this has major implications, not only for me, but for my family. I have a sister and cousins who all want to go to school, or who I want to go to school in New Brunswick. And if they want to come to Mount A, we need a strong provincial government with good post-secondary education funding. On the point about municipal affairs, I've served 3 years as president of the St. John Youth Cabinet in St. John, so I dealt a lot with municipal government and, for instance, mayor and council. So I know a lot about municipal issues, and also having lived in the satellites, I feel I have a little bit of experience with the community, more so than a lot of people, and I'm not saying that somebody who lives in larger residence wouldn't have that experience, but I feel that I've gotten to know the community in a different way. So I do definitely think municipal affairs are very important. Thank you.
Next to my platform, the extended library hours is definitely something that I want to make sure happens, but it also seems like something that's going to be a more reasonable request in the eyes of the administration. It seems like something that we have a really strong chance of making it equitable as possible. So I think really looking at that scholarship retention and trying to kind of spend most of my year making sure that happens, and doing my best to move that along so that we can kind of have some progress is definitely my most, or that's the part of my platform that I'm going to be prioritizing most in the next year.